Hey guys, it's Tarkin coming at you with another game of Minecraft. Really, it's just wheat. We're gonna plant some wheat. You know the drill. You know what we do here. You know what this is all about. You're aware. You're savvy. So we're gonna do what we always do and plant a little bit of wheat. And maybe, like, make a little river. Maybe. Hello, local. Yes, indeed. It is wheat. You can tell by the way it is. So I'm thinking we should plant wheat in our hardcore world over where those pillagers spawn. Because maybe if we just coat the whole area in wheat, they won't be able to spring into existence. Because, of course, in Minecraft, like, spontaneous generation exists, but there's ways around it. But I believe they spawn even in the daytime on account of how they think they live there, even though they don't have a tower anymore. I don't know what could have happened to it. And so I was thinking maybe we can plant a bunch of wheat, and then they won't be there anymore, and we'll have a nice field. Because, you know, there's gonna be more people there at the trail ruin. We don't want a bunch of pillagers. Not that that's a consideration here. There is a pillager tower just over there, but you know they don't exist here. The only villain here is me and wandering traders, both of whom are known to step on top of the wheat. Although, I make exceptions for myself. I don't make them for the traders. I hit him with a stick. It goes great. Fortunately, I haven't seen one in a bit. I think we had to hit one the other day. Who can remember? I remember being genuinely shocked whenever I saw that llamas of the traders like attacked and stuff. I was like, wait, what? Or when a golem hit me back. Hello, Eduardo. How are you? That tree, you know, if I was more responsible, I would cut more of them down. They don't bother me, except in the sense that they prevent me from planting as much wheat as I want to plant. Which, as you know, is a normal amount of wheat. I'm just a regular guy with a regular sense of proportion. That's what everybody notices about me. Version of Minecraft? This is Java, and it's whatever the current patch is, you know, 1.22.3 or something. You know, the current build. I don't think I have a bunch more extra seeds, so we'll have to go grab some, you know, out of the ground. It won't take too long. You know, the seeds come quickly, and they go away. They go away quickly, too. We may not need too many more, of course, because, you know, from right here, we're just, like, chipping away at that, and then we only have this little thing here, and then we can sort of, like, cut a river through there, probably. And then, you know, then this whole segment will be done, right? Because we don't need to get over on the left there. Like, that was fine, like, for a little bit, but it's not important that biome go, you know, because it's really more about the savanna that we're overtaking here. Although, for long-standing tradition, we have to leave those pumpkins. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's go plant some more wheat. As you can see, we haven't planted enough. But yeah, it's what, 5-10 stacks? Just eyeballing it, it looks like we'll probably be a little bit short, but I think we all know what it's like to not have enough wheat seeds for your dreams. You said it's a large wheat plantation. Oh, you know, there's more in the distance. Yeah, it's pretty sizable, I would say. I've been working on it for a while now. No, I just started playing Minecraft about, I guess it's like just about 13 months ago now. And I didn't work on the wheat field immediately. I didn't know you could plant wheat even. I was so foolish then 13 months ago and in June of 2024 whenever I first started playing Minecraft. But yeah, and then I just sort of started planting the field. I didn't even need wheat for anything whenever I started planting it. Like, I didn't know about villagers and stuff, not really. Like, I didn't know that you could use bread for them. I played on peaceful, so I didn't even need to eat bread. I just wanted to plant it. But yeah, we're probably at about 300k now. Yeah. We've used 297,000 wheat seeds. So, you know, there's a good. Of course, a lot of those have been like replanting. Yeah, you know, you just you start with a little wheat field, and then, you know, you get more and more of one. And, you know, if you don't use the seeds for anything, they just accumulate. And that's wasteful. I know, as a guy who has this much wheat and doesn't need it for anything, I give the impression of a guy who is, you know, real careful with his resources. But yeah, but we're gonna build like a temple of wheat far, far away at the other end of the wheat field. Way that way. I'm gonna point here in real life. That'll let you know the direction I mean theoretically on the map inside of the game. That'll be very helpful. That's why I did it. But But I'm not good at building things in Minecraft. I don't really know how. I don't have experience. So I was like, oh, well, you know, I could plant some more wheat over in this direction. Which is probably what I'll do when I finish this segment. Oh, well, you know, you got like the rivers and stuff. Like, I don't need to connect the river and, like... I'm probably going to, though, just because it'll be pretty, and I know how to do it now. Say you don't know anything about farms, you just play in the most vanilla mode. Yep, I play here. This is like my first survival world that I lived it all in. I put it on peaceful, and this is where I learned how to play the game, although I played in a couple of other worlds first. But then after several months, I started playing hardcore, which has been very fruitful and is the bulk of what I play nowadays, is all of my hardcore world, where I am on day like 670 something, 675, something like that. So I've become a pretty proficient hardcore player, but I don't have any crazy farms there or anything, you know. It's all sweat of the brow type stuff. People have told me about, you know, their methods of getting arbitrarily large amounts of resources, but while I find it very impressive, it's not what I want to pursue. Hello, Yellow Cheese Pizza Guy. Yes, indeed, wheat. Now, you can make a pizza without wheat, but it's a lot easier. I don't think there's pizza in Minecraft. I'm reasonably certain there's not. There's probably a mod for it. Oh yeah, that's just like a little bit of it. I just wanted to show it off, because, you know, because we're planting some more. Yeah, that'd make a large pizza for sure. Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, the field is expansive. But that's just this part of it. It's not like crazy big. I say as a guy that thought it would be reasonable to have a field like this. Local noob, you say about flying cars, and now it's just the wheat. Yes, indeed, the wheat. Yeah, you know, there's like a sort of post-rock band, and they're called We Were Promised Jetpacks, and I like them, and I also think it's a super great name for a band. Unless I'm misremembering it and that band doesn't exist, in which case I'm going to use that name for my band after my first band breaks up. You may say to yourself, don't you not have a band? Yeah, but I have a band name. That's the hardest part. You aspire to make a massive farm in your friends. SMP just means like Minecraft server, right? I see it all the time, but I guess I don't know what it stands for. Oh, yeah. I guess I wasn't clear. This is like a mountainside. But yeah, that's absolutely what's going on. I wasn't just doing a bit. I mean, downplaying it is doing a bit, and absolutely is like a thing that I enjoy doing. But yeah, you know, it's all wheat. If you look down here, you know, you can see some of the green. You know, where we've been turning wheat into wheat seeds, as we often do. But yeah, but like I said, like when Navarus pointed, it goes on in that direction for a little bit. Not like a long time, just like a little bit. But I even planted like some wheat. Well, we might as well farm some seeds up. Mine wheat. I usually think of it as mining it because, you know, that's how the game describes it. Where do we wanna mine the wheat? I have some places that are irrigated, but most of it, you know, as you see, like all that stuff over there, that's not irrigated. Some of it is, not most of it. We got some lines here we can run. But this is like where the wheat field began in this little field. This is like, there used to be trees here and stuff. But right over there, there's a little ziggurat thing. That's where spawn is at. Hey, Orange Froggy. Exactly, local noob. I can see my wheat from here. So in my hardcore world, I actually started planting a little bit of wheat. Just a little bit. I'm not joking. It's only some. You know, like we covered this one island and a couple smaller little islandlets, and you know, just a little bit of wheat. But it's nice, you know, because when you come across the ocean from that side, flying through the air on your wonderful Batman cape, you get to see the islands of wheat. You know, before you see the beacon of the home. But, you know, in this world, I just, you know, like, I'll just teleport if I get lost. Like, all the wheat is grown, you know, properly, like, we mine it, but I'm not gonna bother with travel time. But in the hardcore world, of course, you know, like, you don't use commands on a hardcore world. You gotta trek. If you get lost, you better get unlost. But I mean, like, once you get in Elytra, how are you gonna get lost? You got the F3 screen, man. But of course, I've beaten Minecraft one time on hardcore, because I'm a totally normal person. You can tell by all the stories I tell about my gameplay. Why am I replanting it? Well, cause the wheat field has to grow. Like, I'm not... The point's not to collect all the wheat. Did I represent the point of this is that I wanted to collect wheat? I want to grow wheat. Yeah, I'm replanting it because otherwise it'll just be like grass and dirt again, not wheat. It'll be like a terrible regression. We will have taken like the brilliance of the modern era. Oh, I love this song so much. It's called Alpha, and it's the most Minecraft out of all the Minecraft songs. It makes me wanna run off and do something. Oh, deleting the already grown wheat. You have to knock it down to get seeds. You say, tell me your player's vegetarian, so you can't possibly want to kill the little food. Well, well, here in a bit we might have to go to the field of 1,000 cows. You'll never guess how it got its name. That slab not there? Weird. But no, our character here, it's peaceful, so she rarely eats, but No, I've never roleplayed to that degree with this character. I've definitely done that sort of thing in, like, Skyrim. Which fuck your favorite? Okay, I'll stop doing it a bit for a second and explain it. I'm weird. I thought it would be cool to plant an extraordinarily large wheat field that can... And I did. That's the short version. So there in the distance is the mountain of wheat. And, you know, no matter where you go, it's just wheat. But yeah, you mine the wheat. Once it's grown all the way, you get a wheat item that, you know, you can turn into bread or into hay bales or whatever. And then you also get wheat seeds. So you wait for it to grow to age 7, and then you knock it down with a tool with fortune, and that's how you get all of your wheat seeds. But anyway, this is the full wheat field here. You know, since we were talking about it, that's, you know, it stops. You cannot see one side from the other, though. And up here is where we're going to build the Temple of Wheat. But like I said, I'm bad at building things. I actually built this stairway and closed that down like a year ago, before I planted any wheat at all. Which is sort of like a legendarily long time ago here. But, you know, we might as well zoop on over here to the field of 1,000 cows. So, you know, they're having a time. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. You just didn't know I was only harvesting some of it to get more seeds. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I have parts of the field that are relatively straight and that are irrigated, and that's where I get the new seeds from, because it takes time to irrigate stuff. And if you're planting only wheat places, then you don't need to worry about it. Hey, IDK. Well, I am not a chef. I'm just a cook. I'm sure that the pasta you make is better. I'm like, wait, why am I not feeding any of them? I had the wrong item out. A bunch of cows indeed. This is... oh, like 1,800 cows. I always just call it... I always just call it the field of 1,000 cows. You say, what's the difference between a chef and a cook? Actually knowing what you're doing. Yeah, that's the difference. Like, no, there's a bunch of differences. You know, formal training, perhaps, and just, like, the sort of establishment, your own role in the place, like, you know, what... But in general, like, so I'm a prep cook, and I'm not a prep cook. I'm a line cook in a steakhouse, which means, in general, I show up and, like, today all I did was cook like steaks on the grill and, you know, salmon and chicken and stuff. But I didn't prepare any of that. Someone else already did all of that, and they put it to the side and I just grab it. And which is sort of normal for, like, the meats and stuff, but, you know, there's restaurants that, you know, make everything from scratch, and then there's places like where I work, which I won't say the name of, and don't try to guess it, but where it's more of like a normal sort of mid-tier steakhouse, which, like, you don't expect anything particularly special, I guess. But yeah, I have all these boxes full of the beef and the leather, because I also have like 7,000 bookshelves. I was going to build this great library. I built a merely good library. You say I have a 4K monitor? Oh, yes. Yep. It's old, though. It's like a It's an IPS panel, so it's like a 5 millisecond thing with it's just like a 60 megahertz. It's not like a crazy awesome monitor. You know, my computer now is very, very, very strong, but when I got this monitor, I just had, you know, I got this monitor like 5.5 or 6 years ago, so I had a computer of that era. Do I have a separate hairnet from a mustache? I do not. But I don't have a hairnet at all. As I will demonstrate. I don't need to worry about that. I wear a bandana at work. It makes me look very tough, and it protects you from harm. If you play an RPG and you're like, why is this RPG telling me that a bandana will give me armor points? It does. Like, if you wear a bandana, you get armor points. Yeah, no, as far back as I can remember, I always knew that one day I would play vanilla Minecraft on max settings. Which I believe is a bit of a meme, but even more interestingly, I had, you know, I guess it's not very interesting. I was just talking about how I've only been playing Minecraft, you know, for a bit of time, but like, so Minecraft was like one of the first games I played on this computer, and it was the first time I had played Minecraft, so I got this beast of a machine, and then literally did the Minecraft meme of playing it on vanilla settings, you know, vanilla max settings, which is more funny if you haven't played it ever. Hey Natasha, how are you? Have I tried shaders? I have not. I've heard of them. I should try them, but I'm like very strongly motivated by inertia, right? So if something's just like sort of giving me results that I find acceptable, I'll often just continue on with that until I feel differently about it. Which, well, when we look around at the wheat field, I guess I really didn't need to explain that aspect of my personality. I'm willing to put up with a lot as long as I'm comfortable. Because, like, again, I'm very old, right? I'm like I'm an ancient person. I'm a wizened old man. So whenever, like, I get that it would make it look better, and like I play modern-ish games, you know, I know that they look awesome, but like, dude, when I was growing up, this game was already the dream, right? Like, so there's like, why argue with such a wonderful thing? And then later, if I ever like get bored, I'm like, okay, now I can turn the shaders on. It's like when you start modding a game, you know, sometimes the modding becomes the game instead. At least for me. I know it's very common with other people, though. One of the central memes in modding of like Skyrim is that you'll spend like all of the time getting a huge mod list, play for like 30 minutes, and then go back to tinkering with it and never ever play. Because imagining how your story will go is almost always more satisfying than telling the story. Reality can be so messy and boring and unsatisfying. But when you're sitting there with your mod editor thinking about the game, you know, all of the choices you're making with your mod pack, that's as good as they're ever going to feel. You know, like, you're really going to be like, oh yeah, I'll turn this hunting thing on and we'll get, like, you know, tusks and bones, and we'll be able to do this. We're going to make a chicken fettuccine alfredo, and if you don't stir it properly, then, you know, you won't get the bonus. But then, like, once you play for like 30 minutes, like, maybe I want an even more in-depth pasta mod, you know, because you can ruin a good thing. No, I'm just playing. I did play a hunter mod thing on Skyrim once upon a time, and it was fine. I stopped playing after like 45 minutes and went back to the mod list. And I included it, you know, like Forevermore, but I don't really know what it was like because I spent all my time modding. But yeah, I guess they aren't really mods, but they are though, because, you know, they start making you think. And then before long, you're replacing the textures and the voices of the dragons with Macho Man Randy Savage. It happened to me, and it could happen to you. First, it's just a high-res flowers mod, and then he's bouncing into there, going... Macho Man Randy Savage. What a guy. What a guy. You know, I don't know him personally, but I will always fondly look back at his trash talk sometimes, and his playable characters in a couple of the great wrestling games of the Super Nintendo. Once, when he was insulting somebody, he said to them, "You are a single grain of sand in the Sahara Desert, and I am the entire desert." Which is just a very hardcore thing to say. And, like, wonderfully vain, right? Because, like, the staggering narcissism of it is like part of the beauty of the insult, right? And that sort of over-the-top theatrical nonsense was always appealing to me. As a person who, you know, reads a lot of books, it's always funny to see, you know, like, pro wrestlers that act like, you know, guys doing epic poems where they, you know, declaim at each other for a while and then do some backflips. Anyway, I don't watch wrestling anymore. I did whenever I was growing up. I mean, not like a lot, because my parents thought it was lame, but I would watch it at my friends' houses. Like, I was allowed to watch it, but, you know, they weren't gonna, like, let me kick one of my siblings off the TV to watch it. As I have already related, the Mountain Goats have a great record about with a theme on pro wrestling called Beat the Champ. Oh man, is it ever good. But yeah, like you were saying, Natasha, they're adding the new vanilla shaders soon, and I was figuring I would just wait for that. And then once they're there, if I feel, you know, unsatisfied or whatnot, I can do it. You know, play around a little bit more with the settings, see what goes on. Perhaps. Alright, I guess I'll make an axe. First, we'll need a tree. For although these pumpkins are very nice, they're not technically wheat. And thus, they don't technically belong on my hillside. You know, a massive field of melons would be very cool. Massive Field of Melons could also be the name of, like, the Smashing Pumpkins reunion tour. Speaking of Smashing Pumpkins, we're going to smash some here. I do like the Smashing Pumpkins. Great band, in my opinion. You know, I don't keep current with them, but I don't know if they're still, like, you know, making music or whatever. But I liked them a lot back in the 90s. You need a bot to use the card bucket, the door's history of the book. Oh, that would be wonderful. The Book of Grudges, that, like, it is far and away, like, my favorite meme in all of Warhammer, is that's going in the book. And it's, like, it's very ubiquitous, and that makes it fine to say no matter what. There's a bunch of great Warhammer memes, and the dwarves are the source of many of them. I wanted to play Warhammer again, but then I got distracted. I was petting the dog. He was being adorable and old, so I got distracted watching YouTube videos. And that's like, well, now I don't have time to play Warhammer. You know, you can't start a new campaign with like 45 minutes. First of all, I'd just stay up, and that's not what I'm supposed to do. Man, we got all this random junk. I don't like that very much. Let's go throw it into the ocean. There's a lot of great factions, but none of them feel as great to play, like, philosophically as the dwarves do. Like, I love being a dwarf. I love telling people that that's a grudgeon. I love telling them that they betrayed me, you know, like 300 in-game turns ago, and that's why I'm not gonna help them out. Like, that to me is my idea of a really good time. I just wish they had little ponies they could ride around on or something. There's like a bunch of awesome Total Warhammer mods, incidentally. But I've seen that a lot of the games that I play that I like have had good mods, but of course that sort of makes sense. Because, like, you know, if it's an indie game, then you typically expect an indie that becomes, like, beloved by a lot of people to have, like a positive outlook on modding and stuff. And then I also just play tons of story games. I guess the one that I haven't heard that much of mods on is like Red Dead, but maybe there's a bunch and I'm just not familiar. I don't know how moddable those games are. Am I aware of all the Eurotrash mods? I'm aware of a lot of them. Probably not all of them. But my favorite game to mod, of course, as I'm always talking about, is Warband. Because I used to I made a sub mod just for me of that game, which I don't know anything about modding. Although my most viewed videos on YouTube are from 11 years ago, where I made a modding tutorial for that game because people told me to, even though I didn't know what I was doing. They were like, "Hey, how do you have like these custom troops?" So I'm like, "Oh, I made them and stuff." And they're like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, I went into this notepad document." It was a good time. Kind of miss it. It was fun. Orange Froggy, 11 years ago, I was 28. And that is when I started the channel. And I only played Warband for many hundreds of videos. And I haven't done a video on it in some years. Ah, yes, I understand now. Well, thank you. No, 11 years ago I did not have a mustache, which is very sad. Or sometimes I had one, but it was concealed by a beard. Which is fine, like a beard's great. And if I wasn't like a cook, like if I somehow won the lottery, although I don't play and never would, then I would probably have a beard. Say make my profile picture the mustache. I mean, you know, if I had a logical enough picture of it, but I hate photography, you see. Not like, I don't hate photographers, I don't hate the art of photography, I hate having photographs taken of me. And you might be thinking, are you not right now on a video? It is not a video, like a composition of many theoretically sort of photographs all stitched together. Yes, sort of, but it's not in a way that bothers me. Don't ask me to explain it, or I'll just annoy you further. It's actually say I'm so different 10 years ago. Well, you know, yeah, everybody changes, right? I was lucky enough to turn into the guy that you see before you today, planting a lot of wheat. It wasn't always clear that that was gonna be what happened. But my profile picture is what we still had. That's what YouTube assigned to me whenever I developed my profile, and it's the same one I've had ever since. Hey, Elderlam. You said they put this on you recommended. What's with the wheat? Oh, I like planting it. No, look, have you ever started doing something and then you realize that you were doing like a lot of it, and then you're like, maybe I could keep on doing it? Well, I have. I can't think of a really good example of when this could have happened in my life, but I've definitely felt that way before. But yeah, I think it looks pretty. You know, we started with this section here. Oh yeah, it goes on further over this way. I guess we should take the full tour. We're about to end the video, but But yeah, we're just planting it over this way, just for a bit, right? And then just a little bit, and then we're gonna, this is where it terminates over here. We're gonna build a little temple of wheat, a little Greek thing over there. Only I don't know how to build anything, so we're sort of putting that off. But yeah, like almost a year ago, I did the first of the wheat videos, which is the excellently titled "Field of Reasonable Size." Still very proud of that. It's like a Princess Bride reference, it makes me happy. But and when I did that, this field was, I mean, so small, and I was so proud of myself, dude. Like, a little sharp for my feelings this late at night. Good song, very good song, but just the woodwind's a little too intense at the moment. But yeah, so it was just this little section here. We had our little farmhouse, and it was just like what you see here on the screen, just like barely any wheat at all. And I was like, oh, this is so good. Look at all the wheat. I'm gonna be a star. They're gonna take a picture of my wheat field and put it in the newspaper. All these iron golems weren't around, trampling on the wheat. It's not important. We're not gonna get rid of them. I should just stop looking at them. But yeah, and so we can take a little look at the statistics real quick. We have, oh wow, yeah, 299,279 wheat seeds used. So about 10 stacks of seeds away from 300k. But yeah, you can. I think it's pretty. I like the way that the sky doesn't look like wheat. I like the way that the ground does, Clouds are good. Because this is this is like a peaceful world, right? We don't even need the wheat for anything. Just, like, the beauty of it and the satisfaction of planting it and so on. Oh yeah, the mountain of wheat. I sort of, like, downplayed this. The mountain is big on this side, too. I guess we should have showed. Because the mountain of wheat is when you go up and over, the one hit my elbow on the other side, it's sort of you lose sight of how impressive a feat it is. And you might be saying, impressive, that's an overly charitable word for a display of benign madness. Well, yeah, but I choose to be impressed by it, and so can you. Say it's the 5th most watched video. If I do another one, make a wide shot of all the wheat as the thumbnail, probably could pass it. Maybe. Maybe if I started doing thumbnails, the internet would watch more. It's hard to say. Probably. YouTube tells me all the time. They send little helpful notifications. They're like, hey, have you considered? I'm like, no, I don't care. All I want to do is play a wheat, bro. But anyway. Unfortunately, though I would love to ramble and fly around and plant more wheat, we come to the end of the video. It's midnight 24. It's still it's so hot outside. That's your old man complaint for the day. It's after midnight. It's still just so hot, and I'm over it. But I'm glad to have shared a little bit of wheat with you guys. So thanks for stopping in, everyone. Have a good night. Good night, Natasha. Good night, Yellow Cheese Pizza guy. Good night, Froggy. Good night, Elder Lamb. I also play not Madman style. I have a hardcore series that I'm on that you might be interested in. I play some other games that aren't Minecraft. So, yeah, but thanks for stopping in. Hope that you enjoyed the little glimpse here, and perhaps I'll see you guys in another streamer video. Oh, and Local Noob, good night as well. Sorry. But, and Eduardo, if you're here, good night, everyone. IDK, good night. And, yep, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here. I think my laundry's done. Not important. Irrelevant, time-sensitive information. Good night, everyone.